afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. And I am pumped about this X-Men 97 Wave 2 from Marvel Studios, of course, but also from, of course, Hasbro and the Marvel Legends guys over there. Super stoked about this. Took quite a while for Wave 2 to come out, which is to be expected. They don't know that if the show is going to be a hit or not, so they didn't really want to take that chance, it seems like, and, you know, put one back to back. So understand that, but super happy to finally get these guys to the table and adding to my X-Men / animated Marvel shelf. That's all I really got going on right now, just one single shelf. Hopefully it stays that way, but if they keep making these awesome X-Men retro 97 type figures, it might have to expand. But let's go ahead and get into what we got to get into today. We're gonna let's do Morph first. I think he's kind of he's the blandest of the bunch. So we're gonna look at his packaging, then we'll go ahead and unbox all these guys and gals and really get into them. But normal kind of standard packaging, bubble on the front, sealed in bubble definitely. If you're taking this off, you're gonna have to cut it if you're wanting to keep the card for whatever reason. But yeah, you're gonna destroy the card for sure. Kind of the figures that you're gonna get in this line. We're going to get the kind of Canadian wilderness version of Logan, Jubilee, Emma Frost, Morph, Sunspot, and of course Cable. Looking forward to getting into Cable. Haven't gotten Emma Frost and haven't gotten Sunspot yet. Trying to stick with kind of the bangers, the real meat and potatoes of the X-Men if I can. I know Morph probably doesn't technically fit into that, but I think he's had a pretty good role and pretty iconic really with him and Wolverine's interaction. So let's go ahead and crack open all these guys and we'll get into X-Men 97. Alright, let's get into Morph. He does come with 2 yellow fists. I'm not going to get into that, not a big deal there. Let's go ahead and get into some extra heads here. Got his morphed head. This is, I'm pretty sure, one of the bad guys that he kind of impersonates to go along, to get along kind of thing. Very cool, very nice. Not one that I would display him with, but nice to have an extra bang for our buck there. Put him on a suited body or something like that and kind of have him in the background. But nice to have, adds a little bit of value there. And then I do believe, and this could be totally wrong, but I think this is kind of his human version head that the actual Morph person is. I think that's who this is. Could be wrong. It's been quite a while since I've watched 97 for sure, or even really the series before that to catch up. But very nice, no paint issues, very smooth, very animated style. Everything just is really soft, I guess is kind of the way to look at it, but very, very nice there. And let's get into Morph himself. You do have that kind of strange alien grayscale look to him on the face. Dark eyes, almost looks like kind of a 2D animation Asajj Ventress, if you know what that is from the Clone Wars, where they kind of did that strange first Clone Wars TV show. This is kind of that look of her right there. Yellow chest piece going on. Brown jacket, X looking really good on the back. Nothing to speak of there. On the back side of the jacket, nice little kind of ratchety feeling maneuvering going on there. Elbows double jointed, wrist all the way around, and front to back. So all the normal kind of articulation that you'd come to expect up and down there. Red belt, black X looks really nice, and of course the blue Cyclops-y paint scheme going on here. But just an overall nice solid figure, exactly what it needs to be and exactly what it should be with Marvel's Morph for sure. So pretty stoked about that. Let's get into the semi-finale. I think some people may think it is the finale, but next up is gonna be Jubilee. Alright, let's get into Jubilee. Definitely a nice looking figure here, seeing off the bat here. Check out her accessories. We do have a very nice soda cup kind of gimmick going on here. Even added in the details of the bendy straw, which is obviously way more detailed than needed. They could have just done a quick straight straw, but that looks really cool. If you are more of an action pose kind of person with her, you could definitely use that in any other kind of like 6-inch scale NECA. Have a Ninja Turtle sipping on a drink or anything like that. Too easy there. Does have some extra sets of hands, but the hands that we're really looking at here are the fireworks style hands that we've got going on here. Add a little with the little orbs and stuff inside. I really do like that. If she was in high school, she definitely should have gone to the Bring It On school there from that 90s movie, because these are some definite spirit fingers, no doubt about that. Would have been a great asset to that team for sure. You put them together, they do kind of form an outline. So if you do a straight on shot, it does make kind of a nice look there. So that's something to take account. I don't know if that was done intentionally, but it definitely does work pretty nice there. Very nice. It's good. The little orbs make such a nice touch to it. These little guys right here, they just make a nice little depth to it, and I do appreciate that a whole lot. Now let's get into Jubilee herself. Not the iconic look of Jubilee from the X-Men animated series that we're used to, but I do think it works well enough to not really take away from that character. I think it works just fine. You do have her kind of iconic X-Men style circle earrings is the word we're looking for here. Her nice shades with a comic book-esque little white hooby-dooby-doo bop thing right there. We'll just go, that's what we'll call it from now on. Crazy looking hair. Love the under jumpsuit. Very like 80s hot tub time machine going to the mountain style outfit with the purple zipper going all the way down. Jacket is an interesting feeling soft goods jacket. It's on the verge of not liking it, but it seems to work. It definitely matches up nicely with the arms. There's no real difference there that I'm really feeling. Don't know how I feel about that. So the wrist is kind of, you see how I would rather a little separate wrist action for her, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's just that it's kind of a deep cut into her arm. So that is to be noted, but I guess we're kind of expecting her to be shooting her arms out more so than straight down. But it is worth noting that is a pretty deep cut. So that's something to take into account. Rest of her is pretty much straight black suit all the way down. I will be curious how she stands, but we'll dig into that here in a minute when we get her all posed out. Let's see. Let's do a quick stand check. See if we can make her stand. Yeah, she's a little thin-legged, so not the greatest stander for sure. But we'll mess with her. We'll get her standing. She doesn't have heels or anything, so she will stand. It's just going to be a matter of working with her a little bit. But a very, very nice figure. Happy with that for sure. And I hope to be really happy with this bad boy. Even if I'm not, I could just use him as a curl weight there, because he is a beefy boy and looks like a nice boy. But I guess we're going to have to get in there and figure it out and check out good old Cable. Alright, let's get into the role that defined Jim Carrey's career here with the Cable guy. Let's get into him. It does come with some extra sets of green hands. Again, we're not going to get into those. Does have some blast effects. This is probably the most used blast effect mold ever in Marvel. This is always used for Tony Stark flying around, so all the different Iron Mans, all the different blaster shooting effects, almost all of them have that mold. So I guess if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing going on there. But there's more single-use side weapon there. Pretty straightforward, molded plastic in the gray there with some red highlights. But nice, beefy, thick boy going on there. Go ahead and give you kind of a look of how that will play out if you so choose to do it that way. And that definitely, of course, works pretty seamlessly with that. Then we have the big boy, the Widowmaker. Again, molded in the silver plastic there, so no need to paint. And then with some red highlights, you almost get what seems like a highlight under here, but it's just the shadow, so it does add a nice little, a darker effect there. So I'm not sure if that was done on purpose, but it does work to add a little bit of depth just from the shadow of the overhanging plastic here. So I like that. That works pretty good. Again, red on the side and blast effects going in. It would have been cool if they could have found a way to get another blast effect down here, and then you could have had, you know, the double look here kind of shooting out like that. That would have been really, really cool if they could have figured out a way to do that. Man, look at that. How cool that would have looked. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. But very nice. All the same. Can't complain. I mean, I guess we could, but who would listen, right? Who would listen? But let's go ahead, check out the man here. Look at Cable. Looking like he has seen some stuff, no doubt about it. Nice intercom system there going on the side. Bluetooth. Looking like a true taxi cab driver, Uber driver, Lyft driver, you name it. He's done it. He's been grinding on the old rideshare services for sure. Tattoo scar, what are we calling that? Part of his skin, just part of who he is, going there on the face. Again, beefy. Shoulder pads looking really cool. X here on the front. Little kind of cooling apparatus. You know, it's like he's going on a trip to Disney. Needs a little cooling fan there on the side. Time traveling can be a tiring business. You know, just a lot of extra baggage he's carrying around. Extra Batman belt style going on here. He's got his little mule things there like a true Jedi. Little extra pouches here on the side. He's not rocking the cargo shorts, but he's doing the best he can. And then green and yellow boots down for sure. Articulation, not bad there on the top. Arms do move around pretty good, considering you do have that pad there blocking. You do have a pretty good amount of head movement. Really isn't stopped from doing anything there on the head. Arms look really nice. Again, double jointed, pinless, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, that dude rocks. Gonna have zero issue standing, obviously, right off the bat. But let's go ahead and get these guys all posed out on how I might display them in my collection. Maybe we'll add a little bit of extra pizzazz there to make it just a nicer look. But yeah, let's get to it. Good line. Alright, and there we are. The gang's all here. All three of the ones that I was going to pick up, and like I said, maybe I'll pick up some more down the road, but this is a pretty good set. Jubilee is obviously bouncing around a little bit there, but she'll be fine on the shelf. She might be a little bit of a leaner type girl going on there in the display, but again, very, very happy with these guys. But at the end of the day, that is just my opinion, and I'm sure that you have yours. We'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. And while you're there, you might as well go ahead and like the channel, and of course, subscribe, as we do post new content every single day. But it is that time once again. It's time to get on out of here. It's time to throw one back. So for myself and Uncle BJ, we are going to throw one back. And we'll see you all next time.